What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today, as promised, you guys are going to get a round 3 of my mock draft 9.1. If you guys are new, feel free to watch the first 2 episodes. We're going to be doing a quick recap of it right here because there's one crucial change that I made with the last pick. So I'll definitely be telling you guys that in a second. Of course, if you guys are new, we'd love for you guys to stick around. I know this is probably something for all y'all who are returning, so I won't keep it too long for that. So let's go over, let's do the recap. Yeah, this was not posted yesterday. I appreciate you guys for respecting, if you guys saw the post, there were some very unfortunate events that happened, so I decided to take a personal day off, and I do love the support that I got from you guys, because you guys are an awesome community, and I do owe that to you. So, Bryce Young was the first overall pick. I'm going to let you guys read. It's going to be a 50-minute video. If I start reading all of this before we even get to the normal picks. But yeah, y'all could read. We're going to still re-reference all of this. I want to do this for myself as well because it's a nice little refresher. So this way, y'all get to have a nice little review. Feel free to pause if you guys want to look more in depth. And of course, join the Discord. You guys can ask me questions there all the time. It's honestly, you're the only one missing out because it's free. We get to do, we do tape studies over there. We've been doing that actually a lot more frequently. Of course, I should probably shift this to my correct page. There we go. So now y'all can actually look at my rankings rather than, a weird version of it. So we'll pull this back up and so seriously, join the Discord. We have over 250 members there. It is awesome. It's been growing. For the people who did not like this pick, it's Justin Shorter. Again, there's guys who've been substituted in here. Justin Shorter was this pick. So, the pick I wanted to bring into question was this one. I totally forgot. I'm going to be completely blunt. I totally forgot that we went Justin Shorter earlier. So I substituted that out for Gervon Dexter, but after rewatching Gervon yesterday, I realized that one, I have him way too high, and I've not adjusted that yet on my board. But yeah, obviously I'm gonna go for a defensive interior. I'm gonna say Mozzie Smith is the one who I did take. He's a really damn good player. So he's gonna be a hyper athlete. He's gonna test out of his mind. A lot of people are gonna fall in love with that. I actually have him graded pretty damn highly on my interior rankings. So he's out of the question right now. We still have Xavier Hutchinson on the board because I would have loved to have gone with him here at 64, but we're still sticking in a nice spot. So again, just to quickly go over what the Texans have already done this draft. They've already gotten John Michael Schmitz. Where's their second round pick? I'm tripping. I thought they had a second. So they already got John Michael Schmitz. They've already gotten Quentin Johnston as well as Bryce Young. So all offense. And I want to get some help on the defense here. Tyler Davis is too damn good a value to pass up on. I'm going to scroll down so you guys can see a little bit more of my board as well, because this is more into the experimental zone. So just beware. That does happen. And something that will change for next mock, Garrett Williams actually decided to come out. Don't know why. You tear your ACL, usually your draft stock falls, and then you're not comfortable with it. Maybe he was like, you know what, if I'm in the top 2 round grades, I think that's great. And maybe he got hey, you're going to be selected easily by 64th. And he was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to potentially ruin my draft stock any more than that. I already have injury concerns probably on my scouting report because of the fact I had an ACL tear. So maybe he just decided to do it because he thinks that's the best way for himself to be able to get into the league with a damn good team. But for this, we're not considering him because I would have taken him way earlier than that. I rewatched Siaki Ika, and he even fell further in my mind. It's actually quite embarrassing. I don't see any reason why I would ever want to draft Siaki Ika when there's so many more talented defensive interiors. So pick number 65 for the Broncos. Again, this team doesn't need much. We went offensive tackle already. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys don't have your second round pick. And it appears that you do not. Yeah, so you guys don't have your first or second. Obviously, it was part of the Russ trade. But, you guys have ended up going with a tackle. That's great. I still think you should go after an edge rusher. There's not really many more positions that I would necessarily target for you guys. So, Will McDonald is just BPA here. It's a third-round pick. Will McDonald is number 17 on my board at the moment. That definitely is subject to change, but he's still easily a top 50 player. He's incredibly talented. He looks very similar to Kayvon Thibodeau, who I went to high school with, as well as watched for a long time. He feels not nearly to that level. I used to say 90% of KT, probably 80% of KT, and that is totally worth a pick 65. So I think that's great. Honestly, you can continue using him as an outside linebacker, rotate him in there with Baron Browning, and then see what goes on from there. The Bears sitting at 66. So we've already gotten Mozzie Smith, and we've already gotten Justin Shorter, and then we've also been able to kick back and draft Myles Murphy. That's a good spot to be in. We've addressed some edge spot. I think we want to go offensive line here. I do. And Graham Barton is definitely worth a third-round pick. As you guys can see, he's number 75 on my board. Super consistent guy. You definitely can bring in a veteran to just bring Graham Barton up. But that's kind of cool. We're pretty similar in our ranking of Graham Barton. But yeah, he's totally worth testing out. He's quite an athletic tackle. He has some very, very good reps, and I think he deserves to be at least brought into the equation. Pick 67 for the Los Angeles Rams. I think in the first round, did we go after an edge rusher? I think we did. All right, not the second round, the first pick. Yeah, we went after Nolan Smith, and that guy is insane. He's an insane talent. But for me, I need to get more offensive line help again. Like, this is now in necessity territory, and I'm looking at Christian Haynes, and he's such a hyper-athletic guard that it's impossible to pass on him. He's too damn high ceiling for me to say no. The team's about to engage into a huge rebuild. I have a weird feeling Stafford's going to retire. He already has his ring. He already has his money. I think that you could see McVay retire to broadcasting for a while, similar to how Sean Payton did it. It seems the right time to do it. You decided you want a Super Bowl. Team's just not built ready. So I think that's a good spot. So pick number 68. I want to see, what do we do for the Saints in round 1? We got Jalen Hyatt. That's good. This one is down to 2 players, Bo Nix and Hendon Hooker. And either of them are honestly going to be great choices for this team. And then the other one, I assume I'm probably going to send to Seattle or something. So we're going to go Bo Nix here to the Saints. He's a perfect fit. He's pretty much what you wanted out of Ian Book. He's a lot stronger. He's had a great career ascension, or you guys know what I mean. I'm trying to say, like, he got back up to the top. I don't know why I'm tripping up on the verbiage right now, but still a phenomenal player. Pick number 69 for the Cardinals. Again, we have decided to attack Christian Gonzalez, which I rewatched him the other night with you guys as well as I rewatched that same game again. Don't know if I want to put him there as a top 6 pick, but he still is a phenomenal player, and I know I already went after offensive line, so corner, offensive line, I think were the 2 biggies. Now you can kind of just address wherever the hell else you want. Byron Young, I think that definitely is a good position to go after. Edge rusher / defensive interior, that's where the bread and butter is in this class too. So I want to look at both of the classes or both of the groups and just see who is the best for the job. Again, Mozzie Smith's already off the board. Otherwise, I would take him in a heartbeat. We still see a wide receiver in Xavier Hutchinson on the board. So looking at the guys available, there's a plethora of edge rushers, man, and honestly, I'd be happy with almost any of them. You could see Jacoby Windman in that role that Hassan Reddick once had here, where he had a lot of success, and I would honestly love that. I have him in my 50s, but that's not an official grade. I think he'll probably be ending up around 100 when all is said and done. So Jacoby definitely is a very good prospect to target here. I'm actually going to go Byron Young, though. He does have a similar size to what you're looking for a boundary edge rusher. He's hyper athletic. Doesn't exactly have the impact that I was hoping for an edge rusher, but he still is a very, very good player. He has a lot of production, I'll tell you that. And if you get around the edge, that's going to be nice. It's going to be very nice. Pick number 70, Broncos are back. This was from Indianapolis. Now I'm tripping. What did Indy trade for? I'm forgetting who the Indianapolis Colts traded for with a 3rd round pick to be able to get this spot. However, there's still more needs to be addressed. We've got an edge rusher, and then we have also gotten offensive tackle. Now, tight end, you have a couple guys still on your roster. You got Greg Dulcich. I would still consider Luke Musgrave. He's definitely in the next mock draft. We studied him on the Discord, so again, join there. He's definitely somebody I'm going to be putting up a lot higher. And he's a hyper athlete at tight end. Like, he is my dream pick for the Dolphins now. I don't know I got the Dolphins in this draft so far. Got DeJuan Jones. So I might try to make a move up here with the Dolphins for sure. But honestly, I'm looking at all these weapons here. You could pair up Rashee Rice back up with another SMU wide receiver. Not pairing him back because they never went to school together. But You could have Cortland Sutton with Rashee Rice. Ooh, Jack Campbell's too good. Jack Campbell's too good to pass up on. I love Jack Campbell. I don't even care if I got a linebacker earlier. It's passing my mind right now. I don't think I did. But, man, Jack Campbell deserves so much more respect than that. I love him to death. Pick number 71 for the Raiders. For you guys, obviously, linebacker is probably my primary position I want to target right now. Definitely something that I think is a big need. Where'd you send your second round pick to? I'm tripping. Why am I tripping so much? I feel like I'd already drafted for you guys in the second round. Oh, I did. I moved up for Tanner McKee. There we go. I was like, what? So we moved up for Tanner McKee. We got our QB of the future. And then again, in the first round, we ended up with Keely Ringo. So 2 very high value positions with very solid players. Now, I do think offensive line should still be looked at, but this class just ain't it at the moment. So I think linebacker with someone like Cedric Gray. I don't have an official grade on him, but I know a lot of people I know who love him. So definitely should be at least on the short list of guys I would consider. Ivan Pace definitely feels like a guy who could definitely be in consideration here. It's kind of sad that we don't get to see my number 59 player, Tyron Hopper, at least represented here. I don't know if he's returning, so out of the unknown, I think that would be a good idea to just at least consider him as returning. But Cedric Gray, a lot of people are leaving UNC. I think that he'll probably declare if he hasn't already. Of course, if there's a mistake, we'll correct it next week. Pick number 72 for the Patriots. This is fun because I haven't honestly we haven't tested out a third round yet. This is the first third round we're doing. But I think this is a perfect spot for Luke Musgrave. I know there's many other needs, but Luke Musgrave is just too good to pass on. You have to go after him. I'll scroll down so you guys get a little bit more of my board as well. So you guys get to have a little bit of a preview of what is to come. So Falcons, I think edge rusher, we've already addressed that. I'm 90% sure because I love getting edge rusher for you guys. We got a corner here, and we got a linebacker in first round. We got Simpson. So we got Simpson as well as Tyreek Stevenson. Nice. Now it's the perfect time to get an edge rusher. So I already said there's plenty of guys who are still left on the board. Edge rusher is a big position for me to address. I know the offense, we need some help, probably like a center, if I'm not mistaken. That's what you guys have been telling me. But looking at someone like Darrell Shawmy, he literally fits perfectly. This is, if I'm not mistaken, because I had him on a stock up list, this was my dream fit for him. So he's 6'4", 260, hyper athlete. Definitely when people talk about Isaiah Foskey, kind of apply the same logic to Darrell Shawmy minus the run stuffing ability. But I honestly think Darrell Shawmy's better. So, I drafted Foskey earlier because I like to blend their board with mine because it gives a more curated, realistic approach rather than just a pure fantasy mock draft, which, yes, will be happening in the offseason because we won't have any new weeks to change up the draft order. So got to have some new interesting takes for when that is all about. So pick 74 for the Jaguars. Again, we've decided to go after a corner. We traded back in the first round, got Cam Smith. This round, I think we got offensive line. We got Darnell Washington. Hey, yo. So Mercedes Lewis is coming back. I do think that's an amazing comparison. So I do think wide receiver, we should definitely look at that. You got guys like Rome Odunze, Rashee Rice. You got these guys who are starting to be in this zone. But honestly, this is going to be Xavier Hutchinson. He's a nice boundary threat, 6'3". He has great hands. He gets open. He's exactly what you want. Of course, it says the Bears got him at 64. Do not, again, I repeat, Gervon's never going to go. Whatever. Mozzie Smith's not going in this anyway. But this is not Gervon Dexter. That is going to end up being Xavier Hutchinson. I'm a huge fan of Xavier. He's a baller. Number 27 on my board, or number 26. He's a good player, man. People don't give him the respect he deserves. And he might be running 4 or 5 flat, but he's a damn good boundary receiver, and he's super reliable with his hands. Apart from the one he randomly dropped that could have beat Texas. But, we all make mistakes as humans. Y'all know I already did in this mock draft. Twice, because I ended up selecting Gervon Dexter instead of Mozzie to get him off the board. Pick 75 for the Texans. So, again, we've decided to run the table. We got Tyler Smith. We've gotten offensive line. We've ended up, John Michael Schmitz. We've also ended up Quentin Johnston as well as Bryce Young. So we have a lot of good positions already locked up. Now, other positions I could target here, I think Emmanuel Forbes, depending on your scheme, of course, which we don't know. We don't know. We all know we don't know. But based off of what it is right now, and I do think a zone heavier scheme could be still implemented, getting a nice ball hawking corner like Emmanuel Forbes, never a bad idea. So he, as well as Derek Stingley, they're both really good at the ball. Why am I having such a hard time talking about this? They're good against passes. They're good against PDs as well as INTs, and then Emmanuel Forbes is the pick six machine. So pass defense. There we go. Whew. Yeah, dude. Like that was a toughie. It's early in the morning. You gotta do what you gotta do. Pick 76 for the Steelers. We've had one hell of a ride. We have. We ended up, I believe, going. Let's do a quick recap rather than just going pure memory. Peter Skoronski in the first. We ended up with. We had an earlier pick than this too. Devon Witherspoon, nice boundary corner for us, as well as I think we went after. Yeah, so it's not Fabian Lovett. It is Gervon Newton, who I think should definitely come out in this class. I don't know if he's decided or not. Again, took a personal day. A lot of stuff can happen within a day, but we're still continuing. We're pushing on. Because Tyler Nubbin, like, I wish they updated this to, take out the people who've already pieced out. So, pick number 76, I think a wide receiver could definitely be in this category. Rashee Rice is a really good blocker. I could definitely see him being a Steeler, but he's also built for the South. Like, he's been playing here the whole time. Again, he's my friend. So, I see, like, on his Snapchat, he's complaining about the cold when it's, like, 40 degrees out. I don't think a team like the Steelers are necessarily going to be a huge fan of somebody like that because, Rod deserves to be somewhere nice and warm because, out of respect, usually I hope players get what they want in life, especially if they've been devoting their entire life to it. So wide receiver still is on the table, though. I still want to keep it, within reach. Now, offensive line, I don't think is solved. I don't. I still think there's guys to be had. But this class just... Not a fan. Not a fan of it. And I'm trying to see if maybe there's a tackle I can definitely kick into guard or something. And Gervon, I'm assuming he's returning. The word's out that he probably should be returning. I don't know if it's official yet. But, running back could be on the table here. You got guys like Zach Charbonnet, who could be a nice compliment back. Chase Brown definitely feels like he could be a Steeler. And that might be a fun pick. I might send it in on Chase Brown. I know we've already gotten defensive interior. Linebacker, again, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go after a blitzing linebacker, but we need someone who's good against the run. We do. And I don't see any of that on the board right at this moment. So we're going to have some fun here. We're going to go Chase Brown to be the guy who puts a lot of pressure on Najee Harris to be consistently talented. And Chase Brown is a little bit different style of running back than Najee. He's not going to be that 220-pound style back. Chase can still lower the shoulder, man, but he's a home run hitter. And he's a very good one at that. A lot of people have him a lot higher than I do, but, I still think he's a very, very good player. Pick number 77 for the Green Bay Packers. I don't think we went tight end earlier. Did we go tight end? Because I love going tight end for the Packers. We went Parker Washington. I definitely feel like that's a Packers receiver. I definitely feel that. They like going H-backs, and I think DeGuara was out of Cincinnati as well. So they're going to get the best tight end pound for pound in the draft. No one's respecting Josh Wiley. I think this is the exact reach tight end that they will go for in the third round. I love him. He graded as my number 2 tight end, and I watched him in person. I watched him every single year. This guy's my draft crush, and I think he's going to be a very good NFL tight end. I don't know why even Cincinnati's not using him that much. It's really weird. I don't know if there's personality concerns there. There definitely could be, but for what I know now, he's a really good player that's heavily underused. So the Lions. We've actually had a pretty killer draft right now. So we got Devon A-Chain. I know a lot of y'all were saying let's get some linebacker help. We traded back and we got an extra second round pick from Carolina. So we got a center/guard, which he's going to be used as a guard. We got a running back who's going to be a nice home run hitting threat. We got a linebacker. We've gotten a lot. We've gotten corner as well. I know we traded back. And we got Jared Verse, and then we've also gotten Joey Porter. So this is probably my favorite pound for pound draft that we've had so far. And Hendon Hooker could be a very fun guy to have sit on your bench. It's a third-round quarterback. I don't think that should be out of the question. Definitely somebody. He's the best quarterback left by a long shot, and he's a consistent dude. Definitely would be nice to have to back up Jared Goff. But I do want to look at safety. Jalen Catalan decided to transfer. That sucks. Christopher Smith is a really good one. Could definitely see that happening. I would not be against it. Let's put it that way. But I think Tracy Walker definitely is good enough to kind of shoo away those concerns. Tight end, Tucker Kraft isn't worth it for me. I just watched him the other day with you guys as well. So again, join the Discord. I don't think there's a good enough tight end to at least bring in to challenge the other tight ends there. I love James Mitchell with all my heart. I think a wide receiver is good at this point. And you play indoors. Granted, you have games outdoors versus Chicago as well as Green Bay. But Rashee Rice could definitely be somebody where you have him as that boundary threat. But I think you guys should just re-sign DJ Chark. Rather than going after a wide receiver that doesn't deserve it. I want to show some love to Raw, but I just got to be real with y'all. I wouldn't go with him at this point. But Mozzie Smith would have been great if he were on the board. Again, remember that he's not. Let's see. Let's go back to my board. Fuck this board. Let's see who's on my board still. We still have Jacoby Widman, who I'm not going to necessarily pull the trigger on. We have Deuce Vaughn, but we already went after a running back as well. I love Deuce with all my heart. Eric Gray. We got Tyron Hopper. Tyron Hopper would be actually quite fun. I know y'all don't need multiple linebackers. To be fair, I think Anzalone is up for a contract this year as well. So getting 2 linebackers is never a bad thing because he's playing a totally different role than Noah Sewell. He's going to be a pure pass rusher. It's not Henry Teoto. It is going to be my number 59 player in the draft, Tyron Hopper. I really do like Tyron Hopper a lot. Big fan of him. I think he's going to return. But, at this point, I don't know. So it's best that we push on. Pick number 79. Already went after Brian Breezy. What did we do with this pick? We went with we went Zay Flowers. I like that. That's a nice balanced draft. Not the big names, but definitely something that's like you get what you need and you get good value for it. So edge rusher definitely is still on my mind, getting some extra edge help here. Derek Hall is too good to pass on. He feels like an on sale version of wait. I'm trying to think if this comp's correct because I wanted to. No, that's not correct. I would say he's an on sale version of Khalil Mack. I'm comfortable saying that. I like that. I can see him developing into like 70% of what Khalil Mack is because obviously Khalil Mack is a fucking beast. But Derek Hall, he seems to be the scheme fit. This is going to be Hendon Hooker, though. I'm drafting a QB for y'all. It's 3rd round. Take him. See what happens. You never know. Pick 81 for the Jets. I still think offensive line could definitely be a position I'd target. I believe we did not go after a safety. Ooh. I think safety's still on the table. And you got guys like Jordan Battle that could be really fun. Man, this class thinned out quick. It's so sad. Some of my favorite players in this draft are just saying, I'm going to go back home. We went after a tight end in the 2nd round. I already know we probably went after an offensive tackle in the 1st. I'll double check that right now just to make sure. Yeah, we went Paris Johnson, who has that nice versatility. Running back, not in the consideration for me. Quarterback, no longer in the consideration for me. Tight end, we went with the tight end. This team doesn't need much, man. It doesn't need much. We don't even think we need edge rushers. This is a pick I'm going to totally trade out of. And I'm looking at the guys who are available. Wide receiver wise, there's some good guys. I would not give up future draft capital for this pick specifically to just get a pure wide receiver unless I'm getting a good deal. But running backs are on the board. You still have Deuce Vaughn on here, Eric Gray, Zach Charbonnet. And for a team that's looking to add that one nasty power back, I would not be surprised if a team like the Bills were dude, fuck our future. Well, actually, I don't think the Jets want to face their own in-division rival with those type of picks. But looking at teams that could definitely use a power back, I'm looking at the Chargers here. They already have guys too. It's a weird spot because I'm trying to have a team trade up with a future pick because I don't think the Jets need this. I don't. They have such a loaded roster. There's nobody good enough at this spot for me to move up crazy amounts for. Christopher Smith could be. I think a team that's looking for a nice safety option could certainly love someone like Christopher Smith on their team. And I'm looking at a team like the Bucks, definitely are one of those teams, but I know the Dallas Cowboys love using their DBs, and Christopher Smith feels like a great choice for them. This is a bad spot of the mock draft. This is a bad spot. This is why I've never done this spot before. Let's just go with the best pick for the Jets. I think a depth corner is never a bad idea, and there's so many that decide to return. It's embarrassing. It's so bad. But Caillou Blue Kelly, he's a nice depth piece, man. Getting corners, never a bad idea. Pick 82. We went Bijan in the first. We ended up going, what do we go with in this round? We went with Felix Anudike. That's nice. So y'all are getting BPA. I think tight end should still be on the table. Again, not really anybody like super worth it at this point. So I'm going to go after a running back. I want someone who's going to be a 3-downer. We're going to go Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. Nice power back for you. Pick 83 for the Titans. We've already addressed offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. I damn well better have addressed offensive line. I'd be mad at myself if I haven't done anything. Yeah, we got Cody Mock. In the first round, we got Jordan Addison. So I still think offensive line should be at least looked at. And I've been doing it so much. You can tell how much I hate this class in terms of the offensive line based on the amount of times I look at offensive line and then just dip. I just don't even decide to make a move on it. Like tight end, I don't think that's really necessary. You got Chigakonkwo. I like him a lot. I'm going to go after an edge rusher here. You have a lot of injuries in your edge rushing room. We're going to go after Tuli Tuipulotu. He's been a very, very productive player at USC. Took a big step up this year. I like that a lot. Pick 84. I wish this were a tight end. I think we still could go after one. Like, obviously, if Eric Gilbert comes out, I would just totally take a swing on him. I don't think he does. If he does, that's great. I would totally do it. But Josh Wiley would be Josh Wiley, Luke Musgrave, those are two of my favorite fits for this team. For that guy who can stay in the boundary. But, man, this team doesn't need much. Again, it's another team that does not need much. And linebacker, just not the right class, man. Just not the right class. Go in free agency for that. Let's go defensive interior here. There's still some really good players. Let's go Jacqueline Roy. He's been flying under the radar for everybody. I do have a lot of respect still for him. He still deserves to get at least a little bit of hype. Pick 85 for the Colts. Now we've decided to go. Did we go after receiver yet for him? Because I would so go receiver for this team. Like hands down would go a receiver. I totally skipped him. So we went Blake Freeland. And then we've also gone a quarterback. So hands down, we're going to be going full offensive mode here. And I'm going to show some love. Rashee Rice. Bigger receiver. So you guys actually have like kind of lanky receivers on the outside. Michael Pittman as well as Alec Pierce. Ra's going to be more of that guy. You get the ball in short range, and then he uses his size to be able to break through and be able to kick some ass. 86 for the Chargers. Another Chargers pick? Holy shit. We've decided to revamp the receiving room. We've decided to get some defensive interior, some edge rushers. So now is a good time to just take a peek once again to see if there's anything worth it in the cornerback room. Julius Brents actually is a really good corner. I think he's going to get a lot of hype going up in the year. I'm going to show him some love here. Julius Brents, he's number 23, if I'm not mistaken, for Kansas State. He played very well versus TCU, and I think that he's going to get a lot of recognition, if I'm not mistaken, at the Senior Bowl, which is great. Pick 87, another Dolphins pick. We're going to go after a running back here. We're going to go after Deuce Vaughn. I think he's a perfect fit. Very cheap contract. I know y'all get him in the 5th or the 6th, but Deuce is still a top 40 player to me. I'm a huge fan of him. We're going to scroll down here. Again, this is not fully up to date. I know there's probably some dudes here who have decided to return. So 88, we decided to trade up with that second round pick. So we ended up getting CJ Stroud as well as with our other second round pick, get Andre Carter. So edge rusher, quarterback already addressed. Cool. I like getting both those positions. I'm going to go running back again. I think running back definitely, this is probably going to be a good spot where you're seeing a lot of dudes go. I think Kenny McIntosh could be one of those sneaky guys that teams take a lot higher because of the fact he's going to be running the 4.2s. So, yeah, he's been tested extremely fast. I know you guys don't need running backs necessarily, but, he's somebody where you can test it out. Chuba Hubbard, he's a home run hitting threat. He's a home run hitting threat as well. Kenny McIntosh definitely is another guy you could add to that list. Kalijah Kancey is going to be my pick here for the Ravens. He just doesn't wow me at all. He gets some great pressures, but he's super undersized, and I think that Ravens team would be in love to be able to get somebody of that talent level. Pick 90 for the Bengals. You could get some wide receiver depth here. We've already gone after, if I'm not mistaken, corner as well as tight end. We could definitely get some offensive line help here once again. Steve Avila actually is nice depth, though. I'm going to go Steve Avila. He's by far the best offensive guard left on the board. And he can play center, so I like the fact that you can sub him in to make sure that your team is healthy down the stretch. Cowboys, we already draft for you guys this round? I thought we did. Why am I tripping so much? It's one of those days, guys. I think we've already gone after Jackson Smith and Jigba, if I'm not mistaken. In the first round, we definitely went after a wide receiver. That's what I usually do. Jackson Smith and Jigba in the first, yep. And then we went after Jahmyr Gibbs. So, offense. Let's look for defense here. Let's get some defensive help. Not that, you guys necessarily need it, but I think this is a perfect spot for Jacoby Windman. Super high ceiling player. I think his ceiling is like 90% of Micah Parsons. So if you're able to get that out of him, probably would be worth spending a 91st pick on. 92 for the Chiefs. We're going to get a pure edge rusher here. Don't worry, the guy drafted for you before is a defensive interior. There's still some amazing players. Lucas Van Ness, adding to those Big Ten defensive ends that you guys have. Super high ceiling. A lot of people are even putting him in the first, which is weird for me, but you're getting good talent. You're getting very good talent. Pick number 93 for the Vikings. Oh, man. We're starting to get the war of attrition here. This is why I've not done a 7-round mock draft yet. I'm not going to go after a tight end, man. I just want to see if there's anybody left that's super exciting to me. I think we traded back, and then we still got Josh Downs. I still think Rome Odunze would be a nice boundary threat, though. So we're going to get 2 wide receivers here. We're going to be focusing heavy on the offense, and it's just BPA as well. 94 for the Bills. So, again, we talked about moving up with the Bills before. I want to see what we did at the end of the round. We got Jair Brown. I like that. So, running back, probably going to be the guy I want to go after. And Sean Tucker feels like he can be a nice, heavy-hitting Bills running back. Going to be the complement that we are hopefully looking for. And to finish this off, the Eagles. We decided to trade up and give one of our second-round picks to the Bears, which was not Xavier Hutchinson. That was Mosley Smith. But, we decided to go with that route. Got Will Anderson, and then we got Antonio Johnson. So, Will Anderson, Antonio Johnson, 2 defensive players. But I still think defensive interior could be somebody who I want to look at. I do hear a lot of good stuff about Keandre Coburn as well as Kobe Turner. For my Eagles fans, I'm not going to pick you guys someone who I don't necessarily fully know, nor am I going to trick you guys into believing that I know players that I don't. It takes a lot of time, and obviously in school, I'm not going to make a bunch of excuses, but, it is what it is, and I'm not going to BS you guys by saying I studied a player that I didn't. I think you guys deserve the respect of honesty, so we're going to look at corners here, and Eli Ricks is on the board. I would have taken him much earlier if I thought he were coming out. Again, this is a very, very top-heavy corner class. And TJ Tampa's a guy who I'd be at least considering for the Eagles. Running back, again, I think this is the spot. This is the spot to try to take one, man. And for me, Mohamed Ibrahim is super fun. And he could definitely be someone that is a nice guy to bring in. But I got to show some love to my top 50 player, Eric Gray. So that's going to be the video, guys. That's going to be the 3-round mock draft. It starts getting to become a war of attrition there in the third. So, yeah, if you guys want a quick little recap of it, there you go. You guys get to get a little recap of what we just did. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me as always. See you on the far side. Peace.